Hi everybody, welcome to Creative Chess channel, and today my secret weapon specially for you guys. After that, I think you like French defense. I mean, when your opponent is playing French defense against you, because you'll have the trickiest ideas, and it's one of the best gambits I have ever played in my life. So this is starts with, as you understood, it comes from French. And here, instead of the main line, d4. We try to avoid all these lines, not to learn them. Actually, it's too much analysis, and we're playing knight f3. Actually, of course, black would play d5, and we put a pawn on e5. We are waiting for black to play c5, and in 95%, they'll 95% of games they'll play c5. And here Wing Gambit is playing b4. We are given a pawn. So what is the idea behind? First of all, I'd like to show you a little trick here. So very often black just takes the pawn, then we give them one more pawn, and if black accepts, which would certainly happen in your games, you just take with the knight. If your opponent develops the knight, you go c3. Actually, the main idea is to play d4, bishop d3, castle, and then to have a look so what black would do. So first of all, just imagine that your opponent is thinking how to develop the pieces. It's not that easy because you see sometimes you want to put the knight here on f6, but here it can't move. For example, let's imagine that your opponent is playing bishop to c5. It's a bad move because you play d4, but I just wanted to show you the idea. Actually, the moves are not that important here. I just want to show you the idea. You castle, and now it's a blunder to castle kingside. Guys, I wanted to ask you why. So why is it blunder? Why was it very, very bad to castle in this position? Of course, I hope you all know this trick. Great gift. You take. Okay, if the king goes here, we'll just took the pawn, open the king for nothing. And if he takes, we go here and play queen to h5, this famous trick. And if he goes rook to 8, trying to escape from us, for example, if you go like that, here he may, for example, here. You see there is no checkmate, but actually it's winning for white. But instead it is much better here first to take the pawn. He goes here, we again make check. And here, guys, you will never guess what move is the best one here. The best move here can be even knight to c4. So you see, what is that? And just take the knight. But in this case, we move bishop a3. And there is no protection from this. We are holding the knight, there would be a pin. So because, for example, let's say we play like this, here, check, we go this way, and after this move, there is no defense like knight to g8 because of the pin. That's why we gave this sacrifice. We sacrificed the knight, and after that, just pin this knight, and now it can't protect the black king. So again, guys, one of the main ideas here, if your opponent plays carelessly, is to develop everything and to realize that sacrifice like bishop h7, knight g5, and so on. But of course, not everybody would blunder this, and I want to show you my game, which I played against the national master from Brazil. Let's have a look at it. Actually, on b4, this will also would happen. Nobody has to take the pawn. Yeah, some people, and quite a lot of, play d4. I don't want you to be surprised. Here, actually, I played a3. Just to give him one more pawn like we used to do. and to transfer a little bit. Yeah, he took bishop before, and now, guys, good move. It's bishop d3. So what is that? Because if we return, so how to develop our pieces? Our bishop always should be here. Either here, I mean on this diagonal. It should be always here. Not here, not here, but on d3, c2, b1, I don't know. So, but usually we develop it to d3 first. And what to do here? This bishop doesn't allow us to play any moves like d3 or d4 like we used to, because this pawn is here. So we are not in panic. So we develop our bishop here. Actually, what happened in the game? Here, and a very good move c3. So why is it a good move? Don't be afraid. We are not blundering here. If he takes, for example, which is possible, don't be afraid, we're not blundering the bishop, we'll just take with the pawn and have good position, open file. Sooner or later we can bring the rook and put it opposite the queen, so it's okay, don't worry. So we put bishop here, and then my opponent after c3 played bishop to c5. He's not going to take, no problem. We have good moves here. It's of course castle. My opponent played knight to e7 and knight a3. It is also the move we should do, because we don't develop the knight here. We develop it from a3. Now the knight has three options, and all these three options can be very, very useful. Just remember, from here knight can go to b5. I very often make this. Why? Because first of all, if we play a6, okay, let's just make some move like this. First of all, just for you to remember, after h6, it's not necessary to retreat with the knight, because actually nobody can capture it, because we would capture the rook. So don't worry, guys, if he's playing like that. So another idea is, for example, if your opponent just makes something, you may just play like that from time to time. I also can do something like that. So the idea is you're giving the second pawn, but now you have a very strong bishop. Very strong bishop, and you try to prove that a pair of bishops is very good. But if you don't like it, it's not necessary actually to put the knight there to make some tricks like that. You may not do this, or you may play on c4, for example, which is also a good move, because from here you can both protect the pawn, and also, for example, if you put here, you may, for example, exchange the bishops, and after exchange you have a good four-post here, for example. So you need to think about this. And the third good move is bishop to c2 in this situation, because I'm not speaking right about this probably position, but sometimes knight goes to f5, and if the pawn is not here, let us say it's standing on d5, you may play knight e3 just to get away, to get rid of this annoying knight, which protects the king. So, okay, let's follow our game. So here just played knight e7, I played knight e3, and he finally took, no problem, we take with the pawn, and he played h6. I think he wanted to avoid this great gift sacrifice on h7, that's why before castling he just played h6. Knight c4, castle, and queen e2, b6, rook d1. So very good file, yes. And now already a threat. We just want to check and then take his queen. That's why the queen retreats. And here knight to d6. Here is even not possible to take this pawn, of course. Yes, because again of this check. That's why the knight is here forever, at least for some other moves. He goes with his bishop. I was thinking what to do. Decided trying to checkmate him. Of course, he didn't blunder that. And I decided to get rid of this bishop because if I didn't do this, probably this bishop would be very strong on this diagonal. That's why I decided to eliminate it and play h4. So I want to play h5 to open this diagonal and checkmate him here. He played a good move because now his knight is standing very nicely, and I'm not going to checkmate him anymore. But that's why I swing to another side. And my idea here is to play bishop h6. Bishop h6 and queen g7. So what to do for black? Of course, he decided to play with his king. I just protected the pawn and developed my piece, and he decided to double his rooks. Yeah, he did. I exchanged, and here, guys, I found a very nice move, actually. No, first I played bishop e4, and after this move, queen h4, and here was already a nice tactics. It's bishop h6. He didn't take my bishop. Let's have a look why. Actually, the idea is that you just take, and probably he should have taken. Maybe he was afraid. Actually, there should be something like a draw here. For example, after queen d8. There is no checkmate here. Computer shows that nothing to worry about and suggests just repeating the moves. But I think just my opponent was scared a bit because his king was open. He decided first to get rid of my my queen, but of course I took the knight and then took this pawn, and it turned out that after several moves and after here this move h6, I am going to checkmate him. He played knight e6 and knight g5. I'm trying to avoid to distract him, but at the same time I'm aiming for h7, and he doesn't have any good things to retreat. As checkmate is coming, it's inevitable. He played queen to d8, but after h7 I just promoted the queen, and black was checkmated. So that's game number one. Just for you to understand the idea with wing gambit better, I want to show you game number two. Game number two, I was playing white against a very famous in Russia international master, Alexei Makshanov. Actually, again, he played e6, French defense, and I decided to play my favorite wing gambit. I played b4, and here he didn't accept. He didn't play d4 like my first opponent, but he played b6. This move is also would happen in your life. I played b5. So b5 just means that he will not put his knight here, at least right now. But Alexei played a6. I don't care, just play my idea, c3, d4. He took, and he wants to exchange the bishops. I think that here was some idea for black, because I have never faced this idea before, because he played this move, bishop a4. And it turned out that I have to exchange my wonderful bishop, because if I would play like this, I think you can just play c4 and where to put it. Actually, it doesn't have any good squares. That's why I said to myself, okay, so I just retreat, I just exchange, and that's all. I just castled. Anyway, even without this bishop, of course, it's better to have it than not to have. But there was such situation that I was forced to exchange, and now he is going to exchange queens. And of course, guys, you should understand that if you want to attack, you need your queen. Actually, if we count pawns, everything is equal. It wasn't gambit because he didn't accept this. It also can happen. But anyway, it wasn't my plan to play without queens. I don't like this. I just decided to leave the queen on board. Queen e2 is just because I want to play d4. Anyway, I played it. I am giving a pawn. Actually, I wanted a gambit. I want to get it. It was my sacrifice, As you understood, I like sacrificing, and I just sacrifice a pawn for some development. Knight c3, you see everything with the tempo, and knight b5. And again, I'm giving another pawn. I have already mentioned this idea. When you leave your nice bishop, for example, if he takes, I would take and open this file. This idea I have already mentioned for you. We took, the pawn is under attack. That's why first he castled. I play a4. And you see, it's quite dangerous to take here because I would take the rook. An exchange, yes, that's why Alexei didn't take the pawn first and played knight to a5. Okay, rook goes to e1. I want to leave my bishop here. Actually, bishop is very strong here, but of course I need to attack to find some active plans. I'm attacking the pawn. Actually want to checkmate him, and he's playing g6. G6 is quite a dubious move because now you see I have a great open file. Why he played this move is actually, of course, it's bad. Maybe he should have thought about something else, but okay. He played what he played, g6, and of course he maybe wants f5. That's why I tried to block all this, playing bishop f6. I try to block this pawn because in case it goes further, he will have some rooks to protect his king. But now I stopped this pawn movements, so that's why he's playing h5, also not very nice move. And here, it seems that there is no penetration squares, I can't penetrate. But of course, my idea was to put the rook here and then to sacrifice. It's impossible to play a rook e3 and with our plan of sacrificing because the knight is standing. That's why I played f4 with the same idea. Actually, I want these moves. I don't know why. Maybe Alexei thought that I just want to prevent him from playing e5, maybe, because he didn't seem to see my idea. He was just playing and he wanted to occupy that file to checkmate me, but I was one tempo up because when he finally made check and played this f8 move, he even doesn't have an option of playing his idea because actually here the bishop is standing. I don't know why were these quite strange moves here. He lost two tempos and now he wanted to protect his king with queen to f8, but already it was too late and there was checkmate. Checkmate followed. So I didn't pay any attention on the pawns. I was just going to checkmate. To checkmate your opponent, you need pieces. That's why I don't try to exchange pieces, try to leave the more pieces the better. But if you see that the exchange is into your favor, of course you should exchange. That's why that's just chess understanding. You should understand whether it's time to exchange, whether it's not time, but always you should see the black king. Okay, guys, I hope you like the video. I hope you like this gambit. Don't forget, before, and then you wait so what your opponent does. If he accepts, you just play 3, and the idea is c3, d4, bishop d3, castle, and trying to attack h7 pawn. The knight can go either to b5 or to c2 and then to e3. So it depends on your opponent. But believe me, it is a good gambit. It's worth playing. So please do it. So, and meanwhile, that's all. So thanks for watching me. Please subscribe to my YouTube chess channel. See you in my next videos and bye bye.